Just a simple fact that donuts have now become a thing in Karachi is actually like a pretty proud feeling, because when I launched Easy, there was nobody except for Dunkin' Donuts, right? And no one was really going out to buy a donut. Now we have so many other donut shops, and and they're all kind of like ours. So it's amazing. As a restaurant owner and as a brand creator, I actually feel really proud of the fact that we came in to the market and we literally brought back a thing that people weren't even eating. And now wherever you go, you'll see someone go to the hospital with a box of donuts. You'll go to a dinner with a box of donuts. I'm not even saying Easy Donuts. I'm just saying donuts. Imagine there's like five different brands of donuts and everyone has customers. So so it's a proud feeling knowing that I have created some kind of a trend. When COVID happened and when delivery started, I had a meeting with my staff and I told them that no matter what happens, I'm not going to fire any of you. This will not happen. It was an extremely emotional decision I made at that time, and I'm lucky and thank God that it worked, and I didn't really have to fire anybody, but it could have gone the other way and I could have had to fire. So it's really hard because in one side you're trying to make all these people believe that it'll be okay, but at the same time you have all your internal fears, and you think to yourself that okay, I just built something. I'm in the process of building a second location. It was 90% complete when COVID hit. And I suppose what did help was that I didn't really think too far ahead. I just thought in that moment that okay, let's just get to next month, or let's just somehow do something and get at least delivery open. All we did was that we slashed our menu by half. Because this way that means less cost of production, etc. So we're like slashed the menu by half, took out all our stats, highest selling items to be sold on the menu. But thankfully the menu at Easy was very deliverable. Like it's easy to deliver donuts and pizzas and burgers, etc. But slightly fancier food was who would sit at home and deliver that, get it delivered, right? So I feel like just by virtue of having an easy menu, we kind of lucked out. So we normally do like really beautifully designed boxes and donuts, etc. for occasions like Valentine's Day and Eid, and we have these really elaborate boxes. But we would never really do it for Mother's Day because we would do it, but we would never really make these boxes. And I remember one day I was just sitting and I'm like, we need to make elaborate Mother's Day boxes because I'm sure people are not, seeing their parents because they're old, at risk, etc. So we got really creative with our Mother's Day boxes for the first time since Easy opened, and that was just an instant hit. Like we sold so many. I remember we were sitting at work till 1 a.m. trying to send out all the orders because we actually didn't anticipate the demand that we had. So when Mother's Day happened, then we had Eid. So when you have low sales, you really need to rely on these spurts of like a cash flow just comes in and you're like, okay, fine, I'm in the clear for another 3 weeks. Let's see what we're gonna do now. So this was actually, our creativity actually got us somewhere. Last year in September, I found this recipe online of this Sichuan fish. So I made this fish and I was like, oh my God, this fish is incredible. Where has this come from and how have I, stumbled upon this? So that just started this very crazy obsession into Sichuan, Hunan, Hong Kong style Chinese. And I think 7-8 months into it, I also went to China because we were opening Easy 2. The second location of Easy, and right next to it I had decided that I wanted to build a 3,000 square feet commissary because I found a really good location. So I knew that buying equipment over here wasn't really going to work because I wanted specific things. So I ended up going to China. But you know, when I went there and the kind of food I ate over there in Shanghai and you know, all these other cities, my mind was blown. That's when I was like, I have to open this. But at that time, there was no COVID, and on my plate was a very big Easy 2. It's triple the size of our existing Easy. And I was like, let's keep it in the back burner, but I would keep cooking. So then COVID happened and we had this massive commissary kitted out with hardly anything to produce. I mean, there was a point in the middle where we went from selling 900 donuts a day to 200 donuts with 50 wasted. That's how low it also went. So I was like, this place is too big. Just putting the switch on to run this place requires so much money, so much manpower. We can't go on like this because that's actually going to bleed us dry. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know some Chinese dishes. I've done a little bit of research. I mean, I wish I had done more. But I was like, let's just launch it. And let's just launch it as a delivery only thing. So I took 2 of my guys from Easy. I started training them. And I think a month later, we just launched. Within our 3 weeks of opening, we already had over 15 to 20 repeat customers. You know, like 2-3 weeks is nothing because on an average, how many times do people order in? So that was amazing and I thought, wow, you know, this is really good. But then there's also other feedback like, you know, someone would just be like, what is this? This is not Chinese. We had made this funny little post about how there's absolutely not a single bottle of ketchup to be found in our kitchens, and you know, like your average Desi Chinese relies on ketchup. And I remember we got some really interesting feedback on it, and they're just like, so what are you making and how are you making Chinese food without ketchup? And I was like, oh, okay, so this is also a complicated situation and a lot needs to be unraveled here, a lot needs to be unpacked. And now I also feel like, you know, for delivery, it is a bit too adventurous and it would be nicer if people do come in and sit and, you know, get the whole experience, and you can educate them more also about, because Sichuan food is different to Cantonese, and, you know, just within China, you have so many different variants of Chinese food. Just like there are too many good customers, there are also very many bad customers. They come in all forms. You know, some of them just, you know, like I'll give you a basic example. Some people just don't think that it's important enough to speak to the staff with respect. That's one type. Then there's another type who just finds everything that you make very expensive. You know, so it's just like, but because they're eating and they've decided to put in that money, they think that their value, there is low payoff over here. So that's another type. There's also that customer who wants a freebie. It exists. No one will talk about this, but fact is that they do exist, you know. So there's very many kind of customers that come in. I personally think that a lot of people don't even really think about how their negative review could actually affect actual lives and livelihoods. So that is something that I really would urge every customer to keep into consideration, because it's not nice. Sending angry hate mail of, you know, ye bura and khana hamara paise wapas karo, and it doesn't happen. Nowhere in the world are you going to be refunded your money just because you didn't like the food. You know, it's a different thing if, you know, what you got was or didn't get, or, you know, if it was completely the wrong order. In those cases, I understand. But rarely does it happen where people are actually paid back in full. A lot of customers have made us do it. A lot of customers have made my friends do it. So the customers can be really tough. But some customers are also amazing. I have actually made a bunch of friends just by owning Easy. When someone writes me like a really long review in my inbox, and, you know, they're like, this is this, but we know that, you know, it could be this is better. Me and my team, we literally want to bend over backwards to somehow be like, please, we're so sorry. Can we just give you something and make it up, because you were so nice about your feedback. And sometimes all you need to do is just be a little nice. And because the person that you're writing to is not a restaurant, it's actually a human being who's running it, right? So a little bit of niceness goes a long way. Some people do it, some people don't. What do you do? When you're new and when it happens to you, I remember when 2 of my bakers got poached and they were getting paid like triple the salaries and everything. And I remember I was discussing it with someone, and obviously the same advice everyone always gives you, imitation is a form of flattery. I'm like, okay, I know that. But I mean, I spent a year making this donut. I mean, I'm just expressing that I'm unhappy about it. It's making me really sad because I put in the hard work and suddenly now someone else is going to make a business out of it. But again, that feeling only lasts for a really short time because you're just so busy running your own business. I've never really cared about what other people are doing. I've always created my own thing. Even with Lazar, the Chinese concept that I'm doing, my guys have come up to me themselves and they're like, we have never made Chinese food like this. But it's only a matter of time that they will also get poached. So instead of sitting and crying about wo poach ho jayenge, my thing is always to keep training newer people. Because you can put all the contracts, everything on their heads. If someone wants to leave, they will leave. And I have never believed in forcing someone to stay. Ki hum tankha rok lenge agar. No, you don't want to work, it's fine. All I expect of my employees who don't want to work with me is to give me ample notice and resign respectfully because the world is round. I've had so many of my employees who have left huffing and puffing, come back to me, sheepish. So why burn that bridge for yourself? Also because there's literally like a select number of skilled chefs in town. So ghoom phir ke, they're all doing the rounds everywhere, so why burn the bridge? A lot of restaurants are now thinking out of the box. We started seeing home kits of, you can make your tacos at home, you can make your burgers at home. Someone is doing hot pots at people's homes. So I feel like restaurants are still trying very hard to somehow give a really good experience in the comfort of people's homes because that is the safest place for a customer, right? So I feel like more than creativity, people are just trying to think of various ideas of how our average burger could be a special burger in your home, or our taco could be a better taco in your home, or a donut, etc. So I feel like that is really happening. I feel like experiences in people's homes or outdoors kind of situations are things that are really going to work really well for the next quite a few years.